Hello everyone and welcome to part 6 of the Tamiya 132nd Dehavilland Mosquito build. And in the previous part 5, we finished off with getting this all primed up. We got a lot done on the last part, and now this is going to finally start to come alive. Now I went ahead off camera and I started the pre-shading. I did the pre-shading using MRP Light Arctic Gray, MRP Light Arctic Gray, MRP 246 right here. Just went in and did squigglies all over the place. I kind of paid close attention to the few panel lines that there are on this kit or on this aircraft, but just going around and adding some modulation to the black primer. Now, as you can probably see right here, I had a little bit of a paint mishap. I made the cardinal mistake of filling up my paint bowl for the airbrush too much, and when I was painting this area, my hand slipped on the edge of the table, and a bunch of paint spilled out onto here and then blew it out. And then after that, to fix it, I went in with some 1500 grit sanding sponge from Tamiya. I sanded that out, got it smoothed out, and when I paint the actual color over it, it should disappear for the most part, hopefully. And also this part is going to be covered up with some dark green as well in the camo job. But speaking of camo job, the one that we are doing is the UP/J NS 838 from the 605 Squadron, the black belly right here. Again, looking really nice on this one. Really looking forward to doing it. This one does have some kill markings on it, as you can see. And yeah, so really looking forward to getting into painting. I'm going to go ahead and get off of camera, and we are going to paint the main color of this, starting off with the medium sea gray MRP 112 right here. This is BS 637, and it is meant for World War II RAF right here. This is what the bottle says. Hoping it comes out all right. I do have another bottle of another gray that the British used during World War II. This is Ocean Gray, MRP 115. And I think what I might do is I might go in with this medium sea gray first, and then do some highlights with the ocean gray right here. We'll have to see how it's all looking when the main body is painted with the medium sea gray. So I'm going to get off of here, and I'm going to go ahead and paint the main body color right now on the fuselage and a few of the extra parts that I have set off to the side. So I'll see you in 1 second once the main gray is all done. Alright, we're back and got the camo painted on, and for the dark green I used the MRP dark green BS 641 World War II RAF right here, MRP 110, and the color came out absolutely amazing. Super happy with it. And the other thing about this, I found my new favorite masking agent for camouflage, and that is the AK Camouflage plastic putty for airbrush right here. This stuff absolutely amazing, super easy to work with, and you just kind of pull out of the tin. Right now it's a little bit of a mess, but it's going to self-level after a while too. You just pull it out, shape it, and then stick it on. And I mean, I let it set for a couple hours and then painted everything, and I did the masking with just regular painter's tape from Walmart to mask off all the other areas. The only area that I had a little bit of an issue with on overspray was right here on the wing. I got a little bit right here, but the good news about that is the Roundel is going to be painted on right there as well. So that's going to be covered up, and there's no issue with that. So again, really happy with how everything came out. Now what is up next is we are going to be painting the underside of this guy, because this one is a little bit different. We're going with the black bottom right here, as you can see. So we're going to have to mask off all of the underside, or mask off the top side, and then paint the top side with the MRP Night Camouflage. It's World War I, but it works for the for this Mosquito right here. So I'm gonna go ahead, and I've got a few different tapes that I'm using. I'm using the Tamiya thick. I think this is 20 millimeter tape. I'm not sure about that. And then medium level, the 1 millimeter tape. This is going to be mainly for the starting edge on the back, because I need to do a couple little curves on this one. And then other than that, that's it for that. So let me get my jig out, and we're going to get started on the masking. We're going to start off with this side on the back side right here. Just get the basic line done right here. Sorry for giving you all the bird. Just going to go right here and then mask off this area with this 1 millimeter tape, which is very good for curves. And then after that, we'll come in with the thicker tape to block off the rest of the area. Alright, I'm going to get off of here and finish masking all of this up, both sides and the rest of the, get ready for all the black to go on, and then after the black is done, I will be back. Okay, so I'll see you in a second. Alright, so we're done with the main paint on the fuselage right here. As you can see, all the black is done right here on both sides. Once I get it flipped over. Now the fit on the gun cover, not really worried about it because I'm pulling it off anyways, but I'm just leaving that there as a paint mask for when I paint everything. Now everything else is done on here. I'm going to set this off to the side. We're going to finish the rest of the parts, like the propellers, the gear doors, bomb bay doors, and all of that. Get those all painted up, and then we'll move on to painting on the roundels and the fuselage code and all of the stencils after all the other main paint is done. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get all of that done, and then when we start doing the roundels and everything, I'll get back on camera. So I will see you in 1 second. Alright, we're back with the Mosquito, and all the main paint for everything, the bombs, the landing gear doors, bomb bay doors, all that is all done. So now what we're moving on to is the detail painting. And with this kit, I'm only going to have a total of 10 decals on this kit. And that is the flags back here that go on the vertical stabilizer, And then the lettering that goes onto the fuselage sides right here. So the UPJ and the N838 right here. And then these two, WAGs, War Wagon, and then the kill markings right here. So those are the only decals going on this kit. The rest of everything else is going to be painted on. Even the very small stencils are going to be painted on using the one-man army mask right here. So these all look absolutely amazing. Here are all the instructions on everything to do with all the paint masks and stencils and all that. And then you can see right here we have some very fine cut mask with this. Even some of it the camera won't pick up, but these are going to look absolutely amazing when they're all done. So what I went ahead and I started off with the roundels. We're going to get the roundels painted off first. I went ahead and I pulled off the block right here for all of them, and we got them all on the model right here, as you can see. And what we're going to start off with first is we're going to black out the area right here. We're going to get that one solid tone right there, and then after that is done, I'm going to go in with the white, get the white painted, then mask off the white ring that goes onto the sides, and then we're going to do the yellow ring, and then mask off the yellow ring, and then after that the red, and then the blue. So we're just going to work our way from lighter to darker on the colors. So that's what the plan is. I'm going to go ahead and start painting all this. I'll be back once I get done with the black base and the white, so you can see how I'm going to do the masking for everything else, because there is a little bit of a technique to that. So I'll be back in 1 second once all the black basing and the white is done. Alright, we're back and we got the white painted for the roundels right here. This is the base coat for it. First off, what I did was I went in with some super matte black after the masking was on, painted everything, got rid of the camo lines on here, and now the white is done and dry. So what we're going to go in now and do is we're going to apply the rest of these masks right here on this, and then we'll peel off the circle for the yellow and paint the yellow portion of this So white ring is done, so we can remove the other sides. We will save these for later. Okay, now I'm going to repeat for the other side. I'm going to try doing this like this, because that was an absolute nightmare to do with just one hand. Oh yeah, that side went down a lot smoother and easier, as you can see right there. That side is so much better. Alright, so now what's up next is we are going to paint the yellow right here. So we're going to paint all of this yellow, and then after that we'll mask off the yellow, and then we'll paint the red that's in the middle right here, and then the last color to go down will be the blue. So, and when we get to the red and blue, we need to do the wing roundels as well. So I'm going to get off of here. I'm going to get the yellow painted on this, and then I'll mask off, and I'll come back when everything is done with the roundels. So I'll see you in 1 second. Alright, so the roundels are all done with the painting. Now it is time for the moment of truth of removing all the masks. Now one thing I did do around the outside of where the yellow stripe is, and also the part between the red and the white stripe, what I did is I went in and I masked around the edges of that, because the masks are cut and there's going to be a small line for where the blade goes. So I want to make sure that no paint got into that area right there. So I went ahead and I went through with tiny pieces of tape and just masked around the edges right there to prevent from getting any overspray with that. So we're just going to start removing the mask a little by little, and we'll see how it looks in the end. Oh, well, that's not good. We've got a little chipping area right here where the paint peeled up. Gonna have to repaint that. So I'm gonna leave the outer mask on, and then what I'll come in and I'll do with the I'll just get the blue and then tape over the center right there and fix that one spot right there. So that's gonna stay right there for now. Let's go off to the other side and hope that we had better luck with that. Okay, there's the first one done. That actually worked out. So I'm going to fold this tape back over because this is helping mask off the other side. Work on the wings now. Okay, so it looks like we got an overspray on this wing right here, so I'll hit that back up with some dark green here in a minute. Didn't mask off enough. Alright, so a couple issues with the painting right now with the roundels is, as you can see, we got some bleed through on this one right here. I'm going to get the big circle on here, get that masked off, and then we can repaint the green on that. And then we had some overspray right here, and then also the same issue with some bleed through on the tape right there on that one. So that's pretty easy to fix, and then this one again pretty easy to fix as well. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get all of this masked off and ready to go back, and we're going to get done with these colors real quick. So I'll be back in 1 second. Alright, so the roundels are all done. Got them all painted, got the correction or the fixes done on the paint. And then what I went in and I did was I kind of weathered them down a little bit using a Infinity Model 4000 grit sanding sponge right here. And it looks like it's faded in, like a little bit of chipping has gone on with the roundels as well, from just being on the airfield and taxiing around and everything. As you can see on both sides, it's kind of very faint. I don't know if you can pick it up on the camera, but in person you can definitely see it. And then on the top roundels as well, same deal with that. Got that all fixed. Now I think I am going to hang it up for today. Tomorrow of course is Thanksgiving, so I will not be getting any bench time tomorrow, but on Friday the plan of attack is we're going to get the top side of all the stencils done right here. That's the main goal for Friday, is just getting this whole section done, and possibly the horizontal stabilizers on the back end. So that's the goal for Friday, getting this part done, so that way on Saturday I have another family event, but on Sunday again tackling the left side view, getting that done. and then we'll work on the right side view and then the underside view next week. So a lot to do still, but the work is going to be worth it in the long run. So I'll be back in 1 second, and we will start tackling the top side of the wings and everything. So I'll see you in a little bit. And we're back, and paint and everything is done on the Mosquito. I didn't do a lot on here because a lot of it was the first time trying new things, so I wanted to make sure that I had it all right before I filmed it. And next time when I use that method, like the Camouflage putty right here from AK, I use that for all the camo lines right here. I will be using this here very shortly when I'm doing the cockpit for the or the escape capsule for the F-111 as a quick build. So this one will definitely be getting featured in a video very soon. And then also, this was my first time using the one-man army paint mask set for all the stencils. There are only 8 decals on this entire kit, and I'll show you them here in a little bit, but everything else, including the small stencils on this, are painted on. There are, like I said, only 8 decals, and that is only because they did not come with this set, and the ones that come with this set don't match up to the paint scheme that I did. So for future builds, if One Man Army has a mask set for an aircraft that I'm going to be doing, I am definitely going to be using one of these sets instead of decals. So look forward to seeing one of these being featured in another one of the future videos. And then lastly, for the actual decals, I used the Eagle Cals decals. I used them for the UP/J NS 838 605 Squadron aircraft right here. And the only things I used were the tail numbers right here and the fuselage code, the UP and the J. And then also some other decals like the kill markings right here. You can see that it has some German and Japanese kill markings on this. And then also for the aircraft name right here, Wags War Wagon right there, as you can see, all looking pretty nice. And then for the other 4 or 6 decals are the UP and J, and then the NS 838 right there, and then the same thing on the other side with the decals. Everything else, like I said, is painted on, like the Roundels, these small little stencils, as you can see right here. This is all painted on. Everything, like I said, just it looks so much better that way, I think, because you don't have to fight the painted on look because it is painted on. And then other than that, and then on the other side, flip this over. I'm going to be very careful because I just sprayed over the decals with a clear coat to protect it, but that's how the underside is looking as well. And there are a few of the paint stencils on that as well. Sorry for my arm being in the way, but that's the only way I can grab it without touching the area that I just sprayed. Alright, so that is going to do it for part 6 of the Mosquito build. Part 7 coming up is going to be all the weathering. So I got this sprayed with the clear coat. So up next, what I'm going to be doing, once the clear coat is dry, I'm going to hit the decals up with an Infinity Models sanding sponge, the 2500 grit right here, just to kind of rough those up a little bit so they match the rest of the painted on. Like the Roundels are a little bit roughed up on the sides and on the wings and everything, and just go through, kind of blend those into the paint job right there. And then after that, I'm going to do the Flory Models wash with the dark dirt on top and also the gray on the bottom because I'm using black. Then after that, I will be putting on a matte coat, and then we'll be doing a little bit of oil work, kind of fading in some of the paint right here, making it look not so gloss. And then also some exhaust streaks around the engines on the bottom right here. And then that's pretty much going to be the extent of the weathering done to this. So not much going on. Hopefully by the end of next week, with all the weathering being done, or by the end of next video, we'll be ready to start the final assembly and do a final review on this. So that's where we're standing right now. I want to thank everybody for watching along and following along with this. This has been a really fun build. Only a few little minor problems with it, and that is on me because I didn't do enough test fitting with the Edward gun bay and such. So again, the problems are on me, and then this one little seam right up here, I just could not get it to go away. I sanded, putty, sprue glue, super glue, UV glue, every trick in my book that I could use, and I've double checked, and all the seams are properly glued. Like stated before in one of the comments, it's glued. Trust me. It's a good. There's no like pull apart or anything like that. So it's just one of those seams that just will not go away. But like I said, I build for me. I don't build for trophies. If it gets a trophy at a show, good. If not, who cares? To me, that's just me. I'm not a trophy seeker. But anyways, that's all I got for now. I want to thank everybody again for watching, and I hope you guys stay tuned for episode 7 of this. And I hope you guys, if you haven't yet, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell button for notifications of when I post future videos. And until next time, I hope you guys have a great day. You stay frosty, and happy modeling.